on with your forecast because clouds and radar showing a little bit of cloud cover here and there, but nothing in the way of rain or snow here locally. Woo, look at that thing out towards the northeast, though. That is a nor'easter, and it's strengthening. This thing is big, mean, and it's powerful. Named not because it hits the northeast, but because of the northeast winds that come from the offshore onto land, and they can be wicked in speed. Those winds, in addition to all that heavy snowfall here, the entire state of New Jersey underneath a blizzard warning. Blizzard warning is not something we see a whole lot. So the fact that there's so many in the Northeast, the last time I checked, over 40 million people underneath a blizzard warning, that is quite the storm. Dew points here locally on the opposite side of the spectrum. We are so dry out there. Dew points in the teens and 20s. That is a dry air mass sitting on top of us right now. Allied Medical Emergency Room camera there. Dripping Springs, dry, quiet, and cold. 29 in Dripping Springs. We've got 20s and 30s. Out in the hill country, I mean, eastern counties, you're no different. You're also in the 20s and 30s. Temperatures this morning, coldest they've been in 3 weeks. We only get warmer after today, though. That's the nice thing. So if you're not feeling this winter like comeback, don't worry. One more chilly night tonight, and we get back to that warming trend. 40s by 8, noontime in the 50s, 60s by 4. I think today's going to be a pretty nice afternoon considering we've got light wind and these high temperatures close to seasonal. 68 is average, so 65 at least within earshot there. Wind gusts, not that big of an issue today, but unfortunately, we will be looking at some strong winds heading into the middle of this week. Even starting tomorrow, wind gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour out of the south. Still finding gusty winds on Wednesday. We'll likely do this again on Thursday. Because of the wind, the high fire risk, and that ongoing drought, you'll notice the wildfire risk for tomorrow, moderate, that's the blue, but also there's going to be some fringes here of high fire risk. So that I think is going to replay itself as we get into midweek and those winds continue. So please be very mindful of what you're doing outside. There's a dry cold front that blows through on Thursday. It's not going to do much for us. Little wiggle in the temperature, little wind shift here. By little, I'm talking about brief. It's not going to do anything in the way of impactful changes for us. But the 7-day forecast does show from the 60s we go 70s, from 70s we go 80s Wednesday and Thursday. Cold front comes through, briefly drops us about 3 to 5 degrees back to the 70s on Friday, and then we'll quickly recover to the 80s this weekend. Your overnight lows outside of tonight in those 30s and 40s will be milder in the 50s and 60s. Erica?
All right.